want to talk about steps in agriculture, or do we want to? No, you. What do you do first?
You know you do have ADHD, right?
Well, you keep telling me that. Literally, my group of people always tells me that all the time. Yeah, it's boom.
So, our company is called Alchemy Bioscience, formerly known as Pixie Dust Co. I think was what I named it originally because I started out with building the Pixie Dust products. And for the record, those of you who maybe have never heard of us, you may know that most farmers have this tendency that if the local co-op doesn't sell it or the local extension agent hasn't been paid a boatload of money to study it, they write it off and it's snake oil or foo-foo juice or pixie dust. So I said, here, hold my beer and watch this. And I trademarked Pixie Dust. We actually own the trademark. And we spell it PiKSi because there's potassium silicate in it. That was the marketing behind it. I know, so smart. So proud of that. Pixie Dust, right? But originally, that's what I started with was this Pixie Dust product. And so it's like, oh, Pixie Dust Company. That was fine. But we've expanded since then, right? So it's not just Pixie Dust anymore. Yep, PiKSi. KSI.
Yeah, I got it. I just had to spell it out.
Okay. Good. So we were like thinking about what we're gonna do for the rebrand because I'm doing some of the amino acid stuff now. And we've got foliar and furrow seed treatment and all that, and I came up with this idea of alchemy and bioscience to sort of juxtapose this sort of like pre-scientific, magical, mystical thinking, like fringe trying to solve problems with the very modern like scientific. I know so much of the rebranding companies do is BS, but like for me it meant something.
Yeah.
And like
Wait, what did you say?
What do you mean about which part?
Rebranding?
Well, a lot of companies, go through a rebrand at some point or another.
Oh, sorry. That's different than white label. I thought you just say all the companies just white label.
No. So a lot of companies will do a rebrand, and like sometimes there's a disconnect between like the marketing department and like the sales department and the farmers themselves.
I really thought we were about to rip the lid off the white label market. I'm like, dang, boys. We aren't even onto the second podcast.
We can do that too. That's fine too. But no, but like it meant something to me, and even our logo. If you actually look at our logo, it's the Philosopher's Stone, right? Which is what the alchemists a long time ago thought was like the magical substance that could transmute the lower or lesser metals into gold, right? So it's the Philosopher's Stone, but the middle of that is an atom or a molecule. Yeah. So it's like this combination of modern and like sort of, I don't know, I've always specialized in like fringe agronomy. I don't care about your NP and K that the bulk, that the bulk fertilizer companies want to sell to you in the co-ops.
That we're going to run out of in how many years?
30 to 300, depending upon, what happens if we find any more mines.
One affects me, the other one doesn't.
That's the problem, right? Unfortunately, they probably both do.
50-50.
Are we going into the second part of the podcast now where I get to destroy all of the sacred cows of agriculture or not? Or do you want to stay on Pixie Dust? And how do you want to take this?
You just go, man.
All right.
You do your thing.
Well, what's Pixie Dust, or what's, company first?
Yeah, Alchemy Bioscience. So we manufacture a line of silica-based stress mitigating fertilizers. And then also we're getting into crop-specific amino acids. And our whole shtick really is everything that I do is crop-specific. I'm really frustrated that our industry is like, here's everything you need in this micro pack. Go put it on every crop. Like, and if you look at the flipping labels on these things, they're like orchards and turf grass and blah, 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 blah.
Tomatoes and lettuce.
Tomatoes and lettuce and corn. Yeah, right? Like, because all crops are the same. And like, I get that there's, essential nutrients and that's all well and good. But, and I didn't, like, I was doing this all along, but I didn't figure it out until I was doing it until we started in on the amino acid thing. So research is really clear that like the wrong amino acid at the wrong time on the wrong crop, you can not only like not just be neutral, but actually go backwards, like actually cut yields. And I was reading a couple different studies, and I was like bringing this up so that we can get the awkward like, oh, here's how I'm going to dismiss what he's saying out of the way. Okay, so let's start with that part. It was 2 studies on hydroponically grown lettuce. Well, you just said crops are different, so how does that apply to corn? I get it. I'm going there. Okay.
Yep.
But it was the first evidence that I found where like they put multiple kinds of amino acids on here, and even the study itself, by the way, was like amino acids increase lettuce yields. You can't just read the headline, guys, because some amino acids increase yields in this. Others, and in particular, they were looking at tryptophan and I think it was glycine, cut yields, fresh weight lettuce weights by like 90%, 90.
Wow.
Like they just obliterated the crop.
That's a big amount.
That's a bad deal.
That's quite a bit.
So I started reading more, and there's others. Guess what? On wheat, you can do so. In wheat, I don't know if it's pronounced cysteine or cystine. It's that one. That one. There was one study that showed, hey, if you put this on wheat, like you can maybe increase yields. And then another study that showed, hey, if you put this on your wheat, like at any time, you can increase susceptibility to fusarium head blight. Because the way that the pathogen that causes fusarium infects the plant, it secretes these like cysteine or cystine-rich proteins, and it's like the signaling deal where it's like, hey, we're ready to be infected now. So like, I would never put that in a wheat product or like more small grains formulation.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that pushed in agriculture though?
Well, that's the
That product?
no, not that particular. Here's the thing. The way that amino acids are currently done in agriculture, and I'm really going to piss some people off with this one. So I just cut your audience. I just cut your audience in half or whatever. Right? So
I really doubt that.
so many companies are buying a cheap byproduct out of China.
Yep.
And a lot of times it comes from the animal feed industry because they're like, hey, we got this byproduct, it's got these amino acids in it. And then they're like, you can get a yield out of this. And as I've said in my own TikTok videos, I'm not saying you can't get a yield response out of it because sometimes you can.
Yep.
But you are not going to get as consistent or as an optimal yield response out of that, I believe, as you will if you pay attention to the amino acids that need to be there. So I'm building a line of crop-specific amino acids. In other words, like the one I just built for cotton, the one we call cotton candy, has one amino acid in common, one, with the small grains formulation that I'm working on.
Okay.
One. Yeah, because different crops need different amino acids at different times. Like that just makes sense.
Guys, if you've liked the information that you've seen so far, go ahead and check out the full-length podcast on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe there. It's also on all the major podcast platforms. We're constantly dropping info and more content on all the social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, etc. Check it out for a lot more content.